10:41 p.m. on September 10th, 2020. Well, I mean, they didn't choose me, and it was the wrong choice. It's obvious. It is in 14 days. It is going to be 5 years since the family of one of my former students was impacted by an incursion into her community. There was, my understanding, one adult and one baby that was killed when there was a forced eviction of a campesino community that was immediately to the south of the town where I used to be a teacher in Honduras. It just so happened the name of this community was Caridad. Now, by the time this happened, on September 24th of 2015, I was already back in the United States. I left the school before the end of the school year because of irreconcilable differences with decisions the administration had made. I had been requested to attend an event and act as a mediator in negotiating with a religious organization that was of a different religious tendency than the one that had requested my assistance with on that day. But because I had to leave the country early, I was not able to make that meeting. I don't think the two events are unrelated. If I had not been allowed to be exploited for somebody else's political opportunism, including in manners that allowed for me and my possibilities to be subordinated to a massive, colossal cover up job, I can guarantee you whatever this London based organization and their co conspirators are up to would not have been able to have occurred. We would not be in a position discussing some completely ludicrous idea of revisiting the concept of national debt swaps. They're genocidal. They genocide entire cultures, including political movements. There's at least two of the countries that were listed in that article that had war crimes proceedings attempted for initiation or some other kind of accelerated proceeding regarding criminality. And they have been intentionally thwarted and stalled what? Long enough to sign them up for another debt swap? We still, in the last 5 years, have not talked about the difference between debt and obligation and how obligation can be met in terms that actually give value added, as opposed to allowing for accrual of debt that can be leveraged by political opportunists that are more concerned about paying off the old time deals they set up with their criminal cohorts than being engaged in responsible statecraft. I have 14 days before that anniversary comes due. I had already made a declaration regarding something that is to happen on September 14th. I intend to deliver. I am hoping that whoever gets access to my videos and or my voice files, or whoever is resonating, breaks through the firewall. There's nothing genuine or legitimate about this isolationism. Who or whatever thought it was okay to hack my emails and sever my communication with anybody for this amount of time was completely in error on every friggin' level. And I don't like yelling and screaming, but I'm going to tell you, with the amount of deception and bullshit you've put on my broken heart, it's the only way I survive. Now, I'm hoping somebody gets in touch with me, because if you continue to leave me in this isolation, I already know what I'm capable of. I have made a conscientious decision not to do it. See, I actually believed in this concept of the people. And it's important that you do things with people. But if there are no people left, then I can't allow for any more of this to continue perpetuating without doing everything I can. It was completely unacceptable and unconscionable to allow for this to occur. There's no way, there is no way that anybody with anything close to a modicum of reason or consideration left in them as a human being could possibly tolerate another round of misrepresenting something like national debt swaps as being legitimate in any way, shape, or form. We should have been spending the last 5 years getting accurate information on how national economies were manipulated and abused. We should have been doing factorization of political corruption and its relationship to the exploitation of the so called development model in allowing for opportunistic exploitation and expropriation of national resources. We should have been holding the culprits criminally accountable so that we could have already had in place deterrent policies that would have prevented whatever the fuck they're actually doing with COVID 19. We don't have that, but there's no way we can allow for another round of debt swapping. No, we're not poor! We're not poor! They know it! They're lying! Stop lying! Stop lying!